Hello, hi, I'm Tina Hamilton, and I have a special guest with me today, Ami Kassar, who is also the president of our EO Philly chapter. Welcome, Ami.
Tina, thank you so much for doing the show and everything you do for EO, and I'm glad to be here.
Oh, we're glad to have you here. So I'd like to start out talking a little bit about your business because that I think will be a natural lead into one of the subjects we want to talk about today. So if you don't mind, tell us, name of your company and a little bit about your company.
Sure. So my company is called Multifunding. I started it. I can't believe it. It's been 15 years,
Wow.
and our whole core mission is to help entrepreneurs find, if they need it, the best loans they need to succeed and grow, and stay in control of their businesses.
Hmm.
So we're not a lender. We're a consultant slash broker advisor. So we help place them in the best loan for what for their needs for their business.
Oh, so you're like a third party that coordinates
Yeah,
it,
like
or
we're a money wholesaler in a way.
a money wholesaler?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right. Excellent. Well, you've been doing really well over the 15 years.
well,
Yeah.
I always say to entrepreneurs, and the same is true for us. It never goes in a straight line. There will be ups and downs and twists
Yeah.
and turns, and you've got to pivot and adjust and just keep moving forward.
Yeah. And you're like the king of pivot because when you pivot, you go all in. I've seen you do it with things before. And lately, I know that, a lot of people have been suffering with economic downturns in their particular industries. Obviously, not all industries, but many industries. And you saw a need in our EO chapter and beyond in EO in general to give some support. So tell us about that, how you started reaching out and creating something out of that issue.
Well, let's first talk about, in our business, um, the first, often we get distress calls.
Okay.
Okay. And they are difficult because we can't help all the time, and we are really only equipped to handle one slice of it, which is the money, right?
Right.
And so, definitely, in if there is an economic downturn, um, it hits smaller businesses first. And
And is that what you're seeing right now? I'm going to interrupt you a second. Is that
well, it's sort of interesting. We saw it a lot last year, a
okay?
lot. Now, and as the election started to come up, it got considerably worse.
Mm.
We had as a company, our worst quarter in 8 years in Q3 of last year.
Wow.
Now, the election is over, and we seem to be living through what I think is a temporary Trump bump, and we can't keep up.
So the demand totally shifted.
Totally shifted.
Wow. No
But,
kidding.
but
What do you attribute that to?
well, there's always a certain, in a presidential election, there's always a certain stall for the few months before
Okay.
the election and things get hold up. But I don't think that what concerns me is I think a lot of the fundamentals we were seeing last year were beyond the election cycle.
Okay.
A lot of it with COVID money drying up and the impact of inflation and higher prices and a lot of P&Ls just being completely upside down.
Okay.
And so those fundamentals weren't fixed by the election. And
Of
so
course.
I don't really have any crystal ball to know what this year's. I don't think any of us do.
You would almost need one at this point.
What's I don't think it's possible. But I think that um, my advice to entrepreneurs, and I try to follow it myself, which is sometimes easier said than done, is that you can only control what you can control
That's right.
and stay focused on what you can control. And um, if the world burns down, we're all done anyway. So
We're hoping that won't happen.
I hope it won't happen. I'm not like counting on that
All
happening.
right. Oh, that's good.
It's sort of a joke.
Yeah.
But so just keep focusing on pushing your business to the next level.
Right.
And so that's what we've been doing and what we are continuing to do. But getting back to the point of where businesses were having a tough time, um, I started to say, there's something going on here. So I started a WhatsApp group, I think 6 or 7 months ago, maybe 7 months ago now. It was started, first it was called, if you're having a tough time in this economy, you can come hang out here. And
Because you were starting to see
I
the
was
effects
I
of
was
it.
feeling it, and I was like, and frankly, I thought EO that we're both part of it was kind of missing it,
Okay.
and um,
And you see it
we
firsthand
see it
because of your
firsthand.
business is directly related
So
to.
I'm like, let's just start something, and it's crazy. I mean, we have I think 825 members
Wow.
in there now. It's an international thing.
So it's like almost 10% of the EO population.
No, not quite,
No?
because the
Isn't it
EO,
19,000 members?
yeah, so it's probably closer to 4% or
Oh, okay. All
four,
right.
4 or 5%.
Math isn't my best
That's
subject.
okay. And there's a community there, and so it calls the need, I think, for you know one of the things for me is I think entrepreneurs crave community and
Agreed.
need it. And as president of the EO Philadelphia chapter, although it's a difficult thing to measure, that's what I've been trying to help create. And the but community has to be there for you in good times and bad times.
That's right.
Community can't just be when things are going great. We're going to have a big party. We're going to
Right.
celebrate. We're going to have a lot of booze. We're going to go on a nice cruise or a
Right.
fancy trip or whatever. That's not it.
No.
Community is there for you in good times and bad times, and we're trying to do that and to provide that support. And it's evolving, I think, in a lot of interesting directions.
So tell us, okay, so it's called Grit.
Well, the
Okay.
community kind of named it, and actually a fellow EO member of ours of the
Oh,
Philly chapter, Eric Griffin. I don't know if you've had him on the show,
we have, yeah.
but he came up with his name one. We decided to call it Grit, which
I love it.
and that name just kind of took off, and amongst other things in there, and it's a WhatsApp group. The We now have anyone who wants to in the community can offer up a learning session.
Okay.
And
Within this EO Grit.
within this EO Grit group,
Okay.
and we've had something like 55 or 60 learning sessions,
Whoa,
and
significant.
there are 2 or 3 a month, and I don't know if you've ever been to an unconference, but
I don't believe so.
it's kind of like a virtual unconference.
What is an unconference? How would you describe it?
I want to do one for EO one day, but
Okay.
it's super cool. And the idea is a group of people. It doesn't have to be entrepreneurs, but a group of people with some common interest get together, and for a few days, and there's no planned agenda. So, but in order to you agree that in order to come, you or a group of you have to offer some kind of learning event. And so you come to the conference, and there's a big whiteboard,
Okay.
and it's slotted. So from 10 to 11 in the morning, you might say there'll be 5 rooms, and there's 5 openings for five
Subjects.
subjects of learning events.
Wonderful. Wow.
And people put in where when you arrive, you choose a place where your learning event will be offered on the agenda.
Okay.
And it could be anything. It could be, I'm going to teach you how to crochet. I'm going to teach you how to do yoga. I'm going to teach you how to do whatever. And
So in the case of Grit, these are all things that have to do with helping you survive your business?
correct. But the idea
Okay.
about the learning, so as a participant in the unconference, when you arrive, you go, okay, there are 5 things up. Which one sounds most interesting to me? You didn't know what they were when you were going to get there, and then you pick one, you pick
Oh, that's cool.
a learning session to
So there's a
go.
lot of trust there that you're
A
going
lot
to
of
find
trust.
something that's worthwhile.
And then at night there's like a talent show, and they're not held in a fancy, nice hotel,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's BYOB, and the it's the food's not going to be like spectacular, fancy food. It's
Okay.
like that's why it's called an unconference. It's like, and some of the creativity and the ideas and the relationships that build out of that. There's like a game room to like hang out and play games and stuff like that.
So it's totally casual.
Totally casual, and we're trying to create that virtually, that environment virtually.
Ah, it's so interesting.
It,
So have you been to an
I
unconference?
have a couple of times.
And that's, well, obviously, because you've described it so perfectly.
Yeah.
And there's always a talent show. That's like part of
It
the
doesn't
thing.
have to be,
Okay,
but
got it.
one
Got it. I
night
was just
there's a
curious.
bonfire. I used to go to them in Israel, actually, and
Oh,
one time there's a talent show and things like that. So we're trying to sort of, maybe we'll do one of those in person. We'll see. Um, it would be very the antithesis of most EO conferences that we go to.
right.
Um, but I think it would be well. I bet you a lot of people would come.
Obviously, there's something going on there if you have over 800 people.
Oh, there are. I mean, again, the results are hard to measure and tangible because a lot of what's really happening is tons of side conversations that I know nothing
Sure.
about.
And sometimes those are the best.
Those are the best things, but I think there's many stories of people say they've gotten incredible support
Sure.
and feeling of not being alone because you need that in a community. You need a sense of a place to go for help.
There's no question. In 2007, we were first in line when that crash happened. First, it was, well, us and real estate. So I have an HR outsourcing company, us and real estate. And nobody else was saying anything. Nobody else was complaining. I was going to events, not EO, but other events around my community. And it was very scary and lonely to think, what am I doing wrong? That all of a sudden business went from, sky high to like almost nothing overnight. And then everybody, then it all started. Um, and I felt sadly a little better because I knew it wasn't just me. It's just
Right.
knowing there's other
And,
people.
to,
There's some kind of validation with that.
and it's very helpful to um, have people who've been through rodeos like that before to
Absolutely.
be there.
Oof.
And so I had a woman on the phone a couple weeks ago crying her heart out because
Oh, no.
it was uh, the first time she didn't know how to make payroll.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, it's gonna be okay. Take a deep breath. I've been there like 20 times in my life, right? Right? Like
Wow.
we're gonna help you figure it out. So, and there's like a bit of a sense of shame and like she's done something wrong and all that. And
Sure. Yeah, that's
she hadn't, just the way it was.
it's as you said, entrepreneurs have a special, like, they need the community because they're in this little island by themselves in a business. Unless they have a partner, they're it.
The community can't just be great parties or fancy
Of
events
course.
or um, now we're doing something in EO for the people listening who aren't in EO. One of the things that we have that are amazing are forums,
Right.
and the idea about a forum is that it's a confidential group of folks who work in non-competing industries to you,
Right.
and you can go there with anything and get experience shares from people who've had similar issues with you in your thing. And forum's great. I've been in it for 7 years. I swear by it. I recommend it. I love it. We are kind of innovating in Grit with a new version. It's not a forum,
Okay.
but if you have a particular problem you're struggling with, you will get coached by another EO member around the world and to do a presentation. And then your coach, and this is all volunteer driven, will identify the most relevant experience shares to help you sort that out.
Hmm.
then we'll go into the community and we'll ask for volunteers uh, to do it. What's will be called a grit circle, and those volunteers will sign up because they feel they have direct experience shares in the areas that that member most
Wow.
needs. And
So you have a whole format to
we're,
this
we're,
group.
we're working on it.
Yeah.
We've had our first coaching session. We're having our first grit circle on
Okay.
Friday. I screwed up the whole doodle system for getting people
Ah,
signed up. It's all okay. We're
yeah.
learning,
It's
uh,
volunteer.
but we're starting to get things up and running. But the idea of it is that in some cases, not all cases, you might be dealing with a specific situation where, while the members of your forum might be amazing, they might not have enough direct experience shares or experiences relative to what you're
That
dealing
is
with.
true. I've run into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this will offer an additional layer of support.
Sure.
It's not a forum. It's not ongoing thing. It's a one-time
Right. You
thing.
get to bring your
You get
problem.
bring your problem or your issue. You get the perspectives now.
So what happens? They bring it to the great community on WhatsApp.
Someone can either reach out right now. It won't be me forever. It won't scale
Right.
because I
Of
screw
course.
things up all the time, especially when it comes to detail. But they'll bring it to me confidentially or to the group. They'll say, "Here are my issues that I'm dealing with." We'll then ask. We have a bench of about a dozen coaches right now.
Wow.
The coach will say, "I'll take that one." They'll coach the member to prepare them for a presentation. Then after that coaching, the coach will come back and say, "Here are the experience shares I think will be most relevant to help this
Hmm.
person." At some point, we'll build a database, but right now we'll go in and we'll ask Grit. I'm looking for some members who've got relevant experience shares in these areas to help. And people raise their hands, and we'll throw up a Grit circle, which is like a 1 hour forum.
Wow.
Okay.
And people can come into this.
Oh,
Anybody can
no,
come and
no, no,
listen.
no, 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 no,
No,
no,
this
no,
is a
no. It's
private.
a private thing
Okay.
for the member, the coach, and because it's designed to be more confidential than in
I see them talking in front of 800 people.
850
Right.
people,
Okay.
and it will be recorded, but the recording will only be to benefit the person who asked for the help. So if they want to go back and listen to it,
That's amazing.
and then
What a benefit. So it's like a mentorship.
in a way, yeah.
Okay.
So that's the idea.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wonderful. It seems like you're doing a great thing. This could become a whole new arm of EO, a whole new,
We'll see.
yeah.
We'll
I
see.
mean, it seems like a perfect
We'll see.
thing. Yeah. Well, Ami,
But
you're always a mover and a shaker. You make things happen. I've watched you in times of difficult times that we've had of members, and you jump right on and want to create a solution. That's who you are. So it's great to watch you in action. And look what you've done. Created this group of 800 and some people, problem solving, helping people, and it sounds like endless ways. So that's a beautiful thing.
we'll see what happens. So thank you. So and Tina, thank you. Tina, she's the modest one, has done incredible work for the EO community in all kinds of ways and tools, and very, very appreciative of all the work and effort that you put.
You know, it's easy, right? It's easy to help an EO because everybody genuinely wants to help each other. I try to explain to people what this culture's like, and it's almost impossible to, because it sounds like something anybody can say. But the truth is, in EO, you can walk into a room with an EO or from anywhere in the world and feel safe to just open up. And I've experienced it over and over, and because I travel a lot with EO, and it's just the most amazing community. And when you can create that, a safe place where you can just open up and be yourself, not wear a suit and tie, right? And it's just beautiful. I can't imagine having a business without EO. I just can't.
100%.
Yeah. But thank you, Ami, for coming down here today and sharing this is super valuable. So those in EO that want to check out Grit, it's a WhatsApp. How would they find it?
I don't know.
I don't either. So just contact Ami or myself,
Contact
and
Ami
we'll
or
get you
myself,
there.
we'll get you
I don't
there.
know how you find an EO WhatsApp group if you're not part of that WhatsApp group,
I mean,
right? I
that's
think you have
part
to.
of that's part of the mystique of it a
Right.
little bit. I mean, we could post a link to it, but it's not really a public public thing. So,
Right. No, 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 no.
but certainly, if anyone wants to learn more about it, can reach out to one of the two of us, and we'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
net is that EO is the community that's there, and the scariest thing for me about it, being an entrepreneur is if you're going at it alone.
That's right.
And I've met so many people doing that, and uh, it's not easy.
No,
Yeah,
no. I mean, there's zero question in my mind that my business has grown significantly to the EO. There's not even a little bit of a question.
100%.
Yeah, 100%, 1,000%. So, anyway, Ami, thank you so much for being here.
My
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much,
All
and
right.
thank you for everything that you do. So.
Thank you.